There have been many days where I've sat and said, does LML need to go on? Because there have been discouraging moments. There have been events where 2 people have showed up. There have been events where people have backed out, and there has been disheartening moments. So there have been questions about, is this a good ROI? Is this a good investment of time? Is it worth it? And so I maintained a document for Little More Love and for the other thing that I run, which is Awe and Wonder. And I've written the impact it's had. And every once in a while, I go read it. So in Little More Love, we wrote a letter that saved a girl's life. There's another thing about Little More Love. One day I got a call from this guy, and he says, is this Little More Love? Random number. Is this Little More Love? I'm like, yeah. And he says, I want to kill myself. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He says, I want to kill myself. Funny thing is, just the previous week, a friend and I were talking about suicide prevention. And this guy really had it on his heart to help people who are depressed in that way. So I immediately put him on the call and we just talk it through. We meet this guy that evening. Turns out there's been a huge issue in his life. We buy him ice cream. He's sitting there. He doesn't even eat it. And very disappointingly, we watch the ice cream melt in front of our eyes. Right. But we're concerned about him and wondering what's happening. So we end up being in touch with him. He's a very happy guy now. This guy who wanted to kill himself. Strange guy who we've never met before, right? And this has happened. You know how he found us? He was Googling problems and love. So clearly there's been some love problem in his life. He was Googling love problem. And on page 3, he comes across our website because they have the words problem and love.
Talk about SEO.
Right? Comes and gives us a call. So that's another thing I have on the list. Right. Saved another life there. Another friend who wanted to go and do something drastic because something was going wrong. Apparently, I gave him a call at the right time and invited him to a meeting. And he changed his mind. That goes on the list. Awe and Wonder, people have read something and decided to make a life decision based on that. That goes on the list. So I look at these things and I go, even if one life is saved, is that not a good ROI? Is it not worth everything? And the question isn't, for me, if I think in terms of God, it's not, is all this a good ROI? It is basically, I think it's God looking down and saying, are you a good ROI with all the gifts I have given you? Right? So I wouldn't really measure milestones that way, but it's about just looking back and seeing what is the impact on people, not on things, not on numbers, but people.